Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the tavern. Big week in sports. We're going to talk about gloves in golf and a few big things coming up in golf this week. Let's get started. Welcome to the tavern. Cheers, everybody.
What's going
How
on?
we doing, boys?
What's happening?
It's good. It's good. We're in the heart of March Madness. The Final Four is upon us.
Oh, both Final Fours are upon us. Like, this is cool.
Both Final Fours are upon us. It's
Tickets for the women's Final Four are $400 more than the men's for the cheapest seat.
So here's the thing. I saw someone talk about this today, and it was a really good point. In the women's NCAA, they aren't one and done. So you actually get to watch these players develop. We get to watch the rematch between LSU and Iowa last night. Whereas in the men's league, in the men's side, you don't have that. You have a lot of players that are there. Teams fluctuate. And yeah, the good teams stay good. But that's what's making the women's NCAA much more exciting, to be honest. And I thought it was a great point.
Here's the question I have, and I'm going to throw this out there, and I'm going to probably get roasted for this comment, but I don't understand where the women's game is so exciting come the Final Four tournament, and then it goes to the professional level, and the excitement still isn't there.
That I can't. I agree. I've gone to WNBA games and I like them and I like going to them. I think Caitlin Clark is going to change that narrative a little bit. Watching some of the players from the past, it's been there. The big thing is so many people are into the NBA and they're expecting in college, you expect it just to kind of be very similar. But in the NBA, you expect big dunks and action and things like that instead of what you see in college. And there's that
change from, the announcers the other night were talking about this with, they said, the NBA was on a downside and then it came, Mary in the 80s and that transitioned to Michael and Kobe and LeBron and Clark this next.
He's really freezing on you too, right, Steve?
Yeah, he's freezing on me too.
Yeah.
Well, great.
All we got there, Dave, was Magic, Jordan, Kobe, Clark. Like, that's all we heard.
Yeah, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this, Dave. I mean, you got is the weather outside causing this? Because you got snow today.
Yeah,
the weather all over is we got poured on here. But you guys, let's get into first round here. Let's get into first round. So, I mean, this is kind of what we were going to talk in first round anyway, is just what's going on in sports this week. And
hey, just really quick, we're going to throw this up here because we have to. Yes, we'll just leave it at that.
That's where it is. He'll get it fixed and come back in.
Lombardi Golf says, "What's up, guys? It's 82 in New Orleans where he is. So what's up, Lombardi? Hope you're doing good. So thank you for watching tonight."
But we had a big week in sports. Major League Baseball started. My Yankees are undefeated still, so I'm going to ride this as long as I can this season. Yeah, I know. Oh yeah, listen, Red Sox fan. It's perfect for this. But that started. We're going right into the Final Four here. And I do think what we were talking about is important because I think the women's game is now finally growing into hopefully more of what it can be. Because you're right, Steve. There's a fall off.
I mean, the better question, and I agree with, there's a huge fall off, and I don't understand the massive fall off that it is. Like, as someone who's been around sports, who understands sports, like when you look at the fall off that happens from the college game to the WNBA, like I don't even know where to begin. But like the other question that has to be asked is, you talk about everything that's going on. Is the beginning of April the best time of year in all of sports.
For all sports together, yes.
Correct.
Because think about it. It's the perfect time because you have the Masters about to happen. You have the final March Madness is coming to a close. Baseball is starting. The NBA and NHL are going into playoffs, and guess what? Now we also have football again. If you add the UFL in here, I'm just saying.
Is anyone watching that?
Actually, it's kind of interesting to watch because you know what? They're still allowed to tackle people.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that. There's that.
Am I still freezing?
No, you're good now.
You're a little better now, yeah.
All right, I switched browsers again.
All right.
So, when you look around at everything that's going on with the opening of baseball, like my Red Sox open on the West Coast. I did stay up and watch a few innings because I didn't want to stay up and watch the whole game because West Coast baseball sucks for us on the East Coast. Just be real. But when you look at what is going on with sports, and there's so much to watch on TV, the end of the NHL season is coming up. The end of the NBA season is coming up, so we're getting into playoff time.
Yep.
There's so much going on in sports, and you had Monday night the most watched female sports event on TV. Over 12 million viewers tuned in to watch.
It did not disappoint.
No, it did not.
No, I was supposed to have a meeting on Monday night, and everybody texted like, "We're not coming to the meeting. Let's reschedule."
Well, you do live in Iowa, so
you live in
Iowa. Like, come on.
They should have had off of school for that game.
Like, yeah, and today. Like, they should have had today off too. You should have gotten Easter Monday and Tuesday off just because of that. Let the kids sleep in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Luke just joined us. Hey, Luke, say hi.
Yep.
Good night, buddy. Good night, buddy. I love you. When you look at what's going on in sports, and it was a year ago today that we all met in Hilton Head for our Masters trip. That popped up in my timeline today. So there's so much going on in every sport that is great for sports. And then you have, and I'm going to say this, you have the golf world and the business dynamic of the golf world that is literally sucking the life out of it.
I don't think it's sucking the life out of it. I think it's the golf. What's going on in golf right now is at a turning point and a turbulent time that is. It's tough for that, but we have all these other sports to rely on, and golf needs to realize that it's not the only thing out there. So if you can't fix this, people are going to go elsewhere.
Right. It's funny when you look online and there are a lot of comments from the LIV proponents about, nobody's playing these events. Like nobody played Houston and this, that, and the other. And it wasn't a good field because the LIV guys weren't there. Nobody would have played that event anyway. Like when you look back at the history of those events and the timing of those events, no one would have played those events anyway.
Well, and the other thing is you only have 46 people playing on LIV and you're not playing every week.
No,
so
they're up to 54 now.
Okay. 54 people. All right. So
semantics.
8 more people than I said. So you have 2 more teams. But you're not playing every week, so you're not giving a consistent thing. Like that's the one thing. Every other sport, even golf, plays every week, at least plays every week. Baseball plays, the craziest amount of games.
162 games, yeah.
They need to shorten that a little bit. But
yeah.
No.
But LIV is trying to be this thing. They want to be like everyone else, but you know what? They don't want to do the work. And that's where my problem is with it. Because I think they can have a good product, but they don't want to do the work. So
what does that sound like in today's society?
Oh, don't go there.
Wow.
Don't go there. Wow. You don't eat.
I just cracked this, and I didn't realize that was coming out when I cracked this open, okay? Wow.
Wait, here's the thing. It came from the one person that works for himself.
Right.
Yeah.
So are you complaining about yourself there, Dave?
Hey, I work hard to make my money.
Hey, that's my point.
I don't work. If I don't work hard, I don't make money.
You make wine.
Yeah.
What do you mean you work hard? You make wine, and you drink wine every day.
Yeah, I have to be able to sell it too. I have to make good wine, or it's gonna be crap, and it's gonna sit there.
Well, there's that. I'm not arguing that, but let's just leave that alone.
So Steve, what else did you do this weekend?
You know what? Obviously, being a long weekend here, kids were off on Friday. I snuck out Friday afternoon and got in a quick emergency 18 in about 2 hours and 15 minutes with the Orlando golfer. He and I went out. Hayden and I went out and snuck it in. And I have to tell you, a couple weeks ago, I got a box in the mail from Cobra that had 2 new dark speed hybrids in it, and I changed out the shafts and put the shafts that I carry in them that I took out of my King 2020 utilities from Cobra and upgraded those. And they're ridiculous. Like, I had a couple shots that literally you can flight a 3-wood and then I can take the 2 hybrid out and just rip it and it goes the same distance. And literally just trying to get those things dialed in because they go way further than my utility irons did. So shout out to Cobra and what they've done with those hybrids because they're unbelievable. And if you guys are looking at them and looking at upgrading hybrids, I would definitely recommend them.
Well, I mean, we also hit the driver at demo day, and we had the same kind of feel with it. We didn't hit the hybrids, and so it's good that you got to use those now because they've got some good stuff out there that's fun to hit. So, and I mean, you went from a Cobra and you upgraded to the Cobra. So
I upgraded to a Cobra. So sticking with the brand, I'm a firm believer in them in the hybrids and utilities, and really they have come. They're unbelievable. The clubs themselves, like you set them down and you just swing them and you hit them. And I've gained probably 10 to 15 yards on just changing those out. And literally I changed just the heads off the shafts. I'm still carrying my LA shafts. So, if you're looking at hybrids and you're thinking, hey, maybe a time to upgrade my hybrids, you need to give those dark speeds a long, hard look because they are unbelievable.
So I'll say I went out. I luckily got out in between the 70-degree weather and the 30-degree weather and the rain and now the snow coming. I got out on Friday and played. And so I got to use also the Bridgestone Mindset golf balls as well. Let me tell you, game changer. Game changer.
We got those at the show. We had them on during the PGA show. We're actually having a conversation about bringing them back on the show to talk about mindset. I've gotten to the point with them that if I'm using a golf ball and every once in a while, if I need a little firmer golf ball, I will switch to the E9 from Bridgestone, which doesn't have the mindset. I will draw the mindset markings on my golf ball and use it that way because I literally need to have them on because
I want to see your drawings of the mindset on this, like your artistic work. I want to see this.
I'm closer to autistic than I am artistic, and I will say that out loud. So
I want to see your drawing on the 14th hole after you're 3 Tito's deep.
Yeah, there we go. You got some transfusion in you.
I can't tell the last time I had a transfusion on the golf course. I really can't. So
was it January?
It was. You know what? That's when it was.
I can tell you when it was.
So. But yeah, no, it was between the Cobra and the Bridgestone mindset, Greg, you are right. Like those golf balls are unbelievable.
Yeah, they are. It's that game-changing thing. It's just something simple that's on there, and it looks different, but if you actually use it the proper way that Jason Day has kind of like set it up, and you get to think through your whole routine, it makes a difference. And I think for any golfer out there that's trying to find some kind of routine to make them more consistent, start with this. Just start with the ball and then go from there. So it's great.
I don't even know that, and I'll say this, Greg, I don't necessarily use it the full way that Jason Day does, but I've gotten to the point, especially from a putting standpoint, that I use that mindset and set that dot up right where I want to impact the golf ball. And for me, it's just a focus point and it's made me a better putter.
But that's my point. It's a routine you have now.
It's a routine now. So you put yourself in that routine. Yeah. So the other way, Dave.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave.
Now show us Steve's artwork version of it.
Dave, you make a great hand model, Dave. But no,
I actually think this is the one that you play.
The Tour BX?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that golf ball. No, I play the X. I like the X, not the S.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you know what? It's funny. I actually
random find in my golf bag.
I actually tried that XS this weekend. I was messing around with it just to see what it did. It spins a little more. And for me, playing in the wind in Florida, I don't need a ball that spins that much if it's windy out. So that's why I go to the X. But no, I've tried that ball. I like the ball. I like the feel of it. It just spins a little too much in the wind. That's all. For me in my game, as someone who spins the ball a lot. So,
Dave, did you guys have a good Easter holiday?
Let's see. We had an event on Friday and worked through the weekend and family Easter. That's about it.
There you go.
I will say
on Good Friday was really weird, but yeah.
Something I will say I did this weekend. We took the kids, kind of had a dad day with the kids. We went to the air show in Tampa and saw the Thunderbirds. And if you haven't seen the Thunderbirds,
that's
cool.
It's
a cool show. Yeah, McDill Air Force Base,
Angels, those kind of shows are very underrated.
Underrated. We were at McDill in Tampa, so that was a good time. So if you are looking for fun to do and the air show's coming to town, definitely take the kids. It's a good event for kids to go to too.
All right, guys. Well, I think it's time for happy hour.
Yes.
I want to be here, right? Okay.
Oh, we're talking about gloves.
We got a fun one tonight, and
we do.
You and I, when they first reached out to talk to us, they sent us this glove, and you were a little skeptical at first because
I was.
You're kind of snobby on your gloves.
I am, and I will admit that. I will be the one to admit that. I am a snob when it comes to golf gloves. Although I don't know how snobby you can be when you play the Kirkland signature gloves.
I don't know. Kirkland signature seems to be tough to get some of their stuff.
Steve, have you met you?
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point, Dave.
That's true. Okay.
Point, Dave. So, but with
all right,
with that,
let's bring Jason and Matt in from Clinch Golf. Hey guys, what's going on?
Cheers. How you doing?
Cheers, guys. What's
how you guys doing today?
Good. Excited about the show tonight. So,
nice.
It's still sunny here on the West Coast, so I'm celebrating with seltzer. But we do have an exciting beer collaboration coming up. We'd like to tell you about at the end of the show.
Oh,
we love that
kind of stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, first off, Matt and Jason, welcome to the tavern. Thank you for coming on here. Thank you for letting us try out this. I will say it just right off the bat, I fell in love with this glove from the 3 rounds I've gotten to play with it. So why don't you start by just telling us about Clinch Golf and where it started and where you're going with it?
Yeah, I'm happy to tell you about the origin. So Clinch is really founded. It's all about the glove, at least for now. And it was an idea I had. I was really dissatisfied with leather as a gripping material. I fully admit leather can feel great, out of the box or out of the envelope, but it has some real issues that I identified. And I thought in this age of, modern performance materials where everything we own, all our, fabrics wick moisture and stretch and have UV protection and breathable, there had to be, a better material to make the glove out of. The 2 main issues I guess I saw were performance in wet conditions. And, we live in Portland, Oregon, but, famously wet at least half the year. But that can really be anything from dew to humidity to sweat to, the condensation from your frosty beverage can affect, how your glove performs. And leather, once it gets wet, just does not perform well. And it's sort of our contention that moisture is always a factor in your game. And the other issue we were out to solve for is durability. I was the guy that always tended to wear a hole in my glove pretty quickly right here. Jason and I get people trolling us, telling us that it's user error. They're probably right. But I happen to know there's a lot more people experiencing user error in golf than there are pros and handicaps out there. Although plenty of those folks like our gloves as well. So that was sort of the genesis behind the company. And I then met Jason and started talking to him, and he was the guy with the product development experience to bring it to life. And so that was the genesis behind the company.
Nice. So as they've said, I typically wear Cabretta leather. Where'd Greg go? We just lost his camera. All right, cool. I don't know what he's doing. He's got the control. Probably.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Remove. Okay, well, till he comes back.
Yeah.
And when I got the glove, I had tried gloves like this in the past. I ran a golf blog for 5 years before we moved to the podcast format, and I had tried gloves like this, and I was always kind of uncomfortable when I put them on. Like the palm pad and where it hit and where the seam was for me didn't fit right when I gripped the club. And so I was like, ooh, I got the glove, and I was like, oh, is this another one of these gloves that I'm not going to like? And I put it on, and I grabbed a club, and I was like, wait a minute, what happened to that fit and feel? It wasn't there. It was the same fit and feel that I had with the gloves that I wear. And then I was like, I used it, and I was like, ooh, I really like this. So you won me over really quickly. So what did you guys do differently to make it feel more comfortable?
Matt, you can go ahead.
Yeah, well, we put a lot of R&D in. We had some free time during the pandemic, and so Jason had some connections at some factories that were able to produce gloves for other companies, and we went to work testing a lot of different fabrics. We did an extensive test with a bunch of our friends and acquaintances here, set them off, in different conditions, and designed a glove that we were really confident in that would work in all conditions, would last at least twice as long as a leather glove. And then there's a couple of what we call minivations that came along the way that Jason helped design in, that I'll let him speak to. But we really saw a niche there. The gloves that are on the market, not to name names, but that are leather alternatives really were not premium gloves and weren't, didn't satisfy. So I agree with you there, Steve. I'll let Jason talk about the kind of happy findings we had along the way.
But I think you mentioned it. You mentioned it, Steve, in the beginning. It was like the feel, right? That's the one thing we wanted to make sure. And I think and Matt alluded to it in the beginning. Like when you first take out a leather glove out of its packaging and you put it on, it's great. No one will deny that. We won't deny that. It's great. But after that, it just steadily declines over the round and over the next couple of rounds. It turns into that really crunchy thing. It's in the bottom of your bag. No matter how good care you take of it after the first time, especially if you sweat in it or it gets wet. Yep. And you can't help that when you're and then when you're pulling the tips of the fingers, and then they have to do this all the time to get it to fit well again after this after that first round. And that we felt like, okay, we can help those kinds of things, those little things that while you're trying to improve your golf game, you don't want to be thinking about. You don't want to be second guessing. But we always knew fit and feel was the first thing people, when they put it on, they want to have that really comfortable, confident fit and feel. And that was what we really aimed for with the material. We wanted to make something that still gave you the fit and the feel of the club, but also will last a long time. Will also get, if it gets wet, will only grip even better. And like we talked about, grabbing a beer, grabbing a soda, grabbing your ball out of the dew in the morning, like you're always going to have to worry about that moisture. So we wanted to make sure we solved for that as we developed our glove.
It's funny. At one point, I tried to play this game competitively, and I was PUD'd with a brand, and I will not say the brand. Dave caddied for me at one point too. We won't talk about that. It was the caddy's fault.
It was not caddy's fault.
But that brand made an all-weather glove, and I tried the all-weather glove because living in Florida, in Central Florida, we get, when you're playing in the summertime and stuff like that, you do get those afternoon storms and things like that. And from a major manufacturer standpoint, they couldn't get it right even to what you guys have done and gotten it right. So kudos to you guys. Like, I need to tell you that, like, it's literally what you guys have done for me is made me think about the alternative in gloves.
Thanks, Steve. For some reason, the brands that make an alternative to leather have chosen pleather as their material, and that's it's worse in all respects. So we just saw room for innovation there.
Yeah,
nice.
Like I said, I got where in my thing is when you guys do sizing and everything like that, I love the feel and how it feels but when I look at that on the back, I'm not getting that full that strap across. Is that a design feature based on the size, when you're doing the sizing and
Or
everything like that.
Dave, you have fat hands. That's all it is. Like, let's just
Also
be
true.
I think Matt likes to speak to this a lot, but I think one of the things is you want to have the extra room for the tightening. You never want it to be over the edge, because then it's probably too big for you. You want to have a little bit extra in case you really want to crank it down, in case you really want to get it tight. If it's too far over and you don't have any Velcro left, you've got nowhere left to really work with. So you want to always have a little bit of that Velcro showing and have it be at a really good fit and feel.
I'm like the first time I put it on, I'm like, oh wow, this is going to be too small. And then I started using it. I'm in Iowa, so it's cold, and today it snowed. So I've been going to the simulator. And I absolutely love the feel. But, speaking of the gloves, you guys have some really cool color combinations with the gloves. What's your kind of, idea and thinking behind having just, something different? You're wearing one right now, Jason.
Yeah, I wanted to have it on just so I could talk to it easy, as opposed to having to hold it up. But I think one of the things when we started looking into the materials and we landed on a material, is that we wanted there to be a differentiator from us in the marketplace, us on the course. If someone's wearing a glove like this, you're immediately like, wait, what is that? We picked gray as our material, and we wanted people to go and to be different than all the other gloves you see hanging on the wall or out on the course. So we definitely chose that. And then we wanted to have a marketing color that was our royal. We also have our solid gray, black, obviously triple black, and then last Masters we dropped the gray with the green, and it was a very popular colorway for us. And so we really wanted it to be a little bit more of a whoa, what's that person wearing kind of thing, as opposed to just another white glove that you see from all the other brands. So that's kind of how we got to where we landed. Once we chose the material, we felt like we wanted to differentiate ourselves in the market.
I know, between the three of us, we're all into the custom stuff, and between our clubs or our head covers, and it definitely draws the eye to the bag, and that's just something else that you're bringing to the market to somebody's just gonna go, oh wow, what's that?
Well, you have your value consumer, right, who doesn't like to go through gloves as quickly and doesn't want to spend $20 every time. You have your modern consumers who are now, again, like wearing sneakers on the course. You're wearing hoodies. You are wearing your dry fit polo. You're wearing, you've got all of your metal clubs. You've got your balls, which are like very innovative. You've got your bags, which are lighter. And we just felt like we could inject some innovation into the golf glove in a meaningful way, and not just in a gimmicky way.
So what you're saying is if you guys made this glove back when Freddie Couples was younger and his parents told him they couldn't buy him golf gloves anymore, that Freddie would have actually worn a golf glove. That's what I heard there. So we'll just go with that if you guys had this glove when Freddie played golf as a kid, he would be wearing your glove. Let's
assume that's true. Yes.
Your parents would have definitely found the value. Exactly.
Let's talk about two more innovations that are, not core to the glove, but I think are pretty neat. We should talk about. Number one is, after you guys play with it for a few rounds, you're going to find it still fits great. But if it gets dirty, it gets grimy, you can throw it in the washer, bring it back to life. Definitely can't do that with leather. You turn it into beef jerky.
Yep.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The other one is, I personally like to put my phone away when I play golf to get a little respite, but they're screen friendly. So leather does not work on your screen, but these are screen interactive. So if you're bumping tunes on the course, or if you use an app, it'll scroll your screen.
So like all of us have our phone and our Desert Fox phone caddy on our cart. We're big Desert Fox guys. I don't know if you know Scott from Desert Fox, but he's a good dude. That is good for us to reach up and just change the song that we're listening to. So that I like that.
Exactly.
Or change the song that Steve's listening to, because Greg and I don't like it.
Yeah, that's also true. So with you're talking about with the material that you use, and you can throw it in the wash. I mean, I've used it for 3 rounds now, and it looks just as new as I took it out of the bag. So what's the life expectancy of your glove?
We say you can expect it to last at least twice as long as a leather glove, but we have people that they just don't wear out. Jason and I were at a local golf show a couple weeks ago, and we had people coming up to us that had bought a glove the year before, and they say, you know, I'm really all set, you know, or I might buy a different color because it's still working. Terrible idea for a company, guys.
There was a kid who showed up and he brought his old glove that he bought a year ago at the Portland Golf Show and had it with him. No issues whatsoever. Still playing with it. His dad bought him a new $25 glove. It was amazing. So yeah, we really feel like, again, like it just depends on how long you want them to last. They will last a very long time. Again, you can wash them, you can hand wash them, you can put them in the washing machine, and they'll come back to life. And we really want to make a great product. I think the brands that I've worked for in my past have always stood for quality, have always stood for like believing in the product, and that's what we wanted to make sure we put out was a product that we will warranty, we will guarantee, and we'll replace it if something happens, stitching, whatever, we'll replace it. And we try to make a really quality product that's going to last. And then we'll just try to bring the newness when it comes to the colors and the prints as we start to grow as a company.
Well, what I'll say is I used it here in Indiana for 3 weeks in a row, and I went through all the elements of the weather, and it still looks, like I said, brand new. And my main thing with it is the feel of it. Like, I forgot I was wearing it half the time. Like, and I loved that about it.
A lot of people say that they forget that they have it on and end up putting with it, which a lot of people, obviously, we know one of the things we talk about with the new modern golfer is that most casual golfers do take off their glove and put their glove back on 18 times around. So we want to make sure that experience, pulling it off, putting it back on, is an easy one. I think you can know, obviously, you know, Steve living down in Florida, you know, in the middle of the summertime, trying to get that glove off and then back on again, that leather glove is a real challenge. And it's something we wanted to make sure we addressed as well. Again, the moisture part of the game. So,
and I'm on the over on taking my glove off because I take it off after every shot and put it in my pocket. So I'm one of those guys that, I literally take it off.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
I hit a drive and take it off and put it in my pocket and go from there. So I'm one of those guys. So, you know, I think the challenge that I have is I've played in this time of year. We don't get a lot of rain. We don't get a lot of snow, Dave, down here in Florida to begin with. And you've talked about the glove performing, and I haven't had a chance to test it in the rain, nor do I really play a lot of golf in the rain. I'll be honest. We get so many nice days. I struggle playing golf in the rain. But, you know, if you're Dave who had snow today, how does your glove perform in the elements as you see, like if somebody's going out, you're playing in a tournament in the rain or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a big differentiator for our glove is, you know, it performs well in the rain. In the last month or so, I've had it down at Bandon Dunes, and I was in Florida last week, and it works great in both of those elements. You know, we have a lot of people in Florida and Hawaii that you know, you'll see pictures of, they'll have 7 gloves strapped to the side of their cart. You know, Clinch eliminates the need for that. And, you know, again, whether it's morning dew or rain or humidity, sweat, you know, they hold up. So
if you remember that viral kind of shot last or 2 years ago, maybe, Matt, when Brian Harmon won that tournament, and it ended in the rain, and they had the umbrellas out, and when they opened the umbrella, there were all these gloves hanging.
Yeah.
I snapshotted it immediately, and I put up on Instagram. I was like, "You'd only need one Clinch golf glove. Like, you don't need these. Only get enhanced when you're in the rain or in the weather." I think that's when we worked on our fabric. That was the non-negotiable. We wanted to make sure that it only improved once you got if it did get a little bit wet, but also was a year-round glove that you can wear on a normal sunny day, and still gripped, still fit, still felt really great. So,
thanks, Mike. Thanks, Mike. Wow.
See, I'm the opposite. I leave my glove on. I putt with my glove on. And that's what I loved about it when I was using it, is that usually when I putt with my glove on, it's out of laziness. Unlike Steve, who has to take his glove off every 5 seconds. But like, that's what I loved about it is the material and the feel that it has. I was telling my father-in-law, funny enough, when we were playing on Friday, that when I played lacrosse, like, you almost wanted your lacrosse gloves to wear down so you had a better feel of your grip. This is kind of like that. I feel like I had a better grip of the club, and this was kind of like that second skin, which I thought was awesome.
Well, we appreciate that for sure. That was our
so
goal.
like
goal.
in the elements, you guys recommend having, just like playing in the rain, and companies that have made rain gloves, you recommend having a clinch glove on both hands in the elements, or are you still good with just the one?
Yeah, it really depends on, for my personal preference is to play with the one unless it's really raining, in which case I might recommend just not playing. unless you're on vacation. But
words of wisdom, Matt.
That's my philosophy too, Matt. I'm right there with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I got stuck in some rain in January in Florida, so that's why I asked.
But
your gloves.
I was gonna say, Dave, it's good to have a backup just in case you're out there and you encounter a storm. You might want to have a right hand glove or left hand glove, whatever it may be, as a backup. That's what I carry, but I hope not to use it.
Yeah, there's a really good video of Matt on our Instagram. We did a photo shoot where he reaches into a full cooler, soaking wet glove, takes a crack of the beer, no stopping, no editing, goes right and hits a drive, and it will work in those spots. And again, we're looking to get.
Hey Matt, I'm gonna say next time you come down, if you're down in the Central Florida area, let's tee it up. And we'll bring the clinch glove, and I'll bring one of my Cabretta leather gloves too, and we'll do it at the same time and try and do that with both of those gloves. Let's see how that works.
Sounds good. We'll see which glove goes fine.
Yeah,
I think you just solved the perfect thing for the golf industry. Like when you grab your cold beer and it's wet and you got your glove on, like that's actually the better problem that this just solved. So.
Yeah,
right. Yes,
that's awesome.
You're always drying your glove. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, with us.
Although Matt, I will tell you, I don't know that I'm going to go back to my leather gloves after this. I'll tell you that. So they might be some dinosaurs that are in my bag after a while. So
we can expect Costco's profitability to go down.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
No, he's just going to switch to Costco clubs and balls now.
Zero chance on that. Zero chance on that.
You got, along with the colors and the gloves, you guys have some different types of glove packaging. Where did the designs for those come around, and it makes you stand out a little bit more?
Yeah, I think one of the things that Matt and I talked about when we started this up together was trying not to be as good as possible when it came to being sustainable. I think one of the things with our gloves is if you're using a glove for longer, you're not going through more gloves, therefore you're not wasting more gloves and throwing them out. So we wanted to, I think one of the things you guys know from playing as much golf as you guys do, sometimes you get to the course, you don't have a glove, or you get to the course, you forgot a glove or whatever, and you get one at the front desk, and what do? They hand it to you. You basically say, oh, here, and you take the glove out and you hand them back the packaging, and it goes right into the trash. We wanted to create a package that would allow you to not just do that. So you can take your glove, you can put it back in this. It has holes for breathability if you want your glove to dry out a little bit, or you can use it to keep a lot of the things that you might have in your bag, ball marks, ball divot tools, other things, and you can put them in like a kid's pencil case, basically, and have a little bit more organization within your bag. So it allows you to use, again, not just throwing that packaging in the trash. So we really wanted to kind of think about all aspects of the product and the packaging from a little bit more of a sustainable view.
That's awesome. I like that you have more options for it too. We all have stuff we have to carry, and it's a great place to keep your glove because I just usually strap mine to the strap on my bag and hope it doesn't fall off. So
exactly. Yeah.
So from a sizing standpoint with your gloves, these gloves come in women's and kids sizes too, or how does the sizing work for your gloves?
So we've got unisex sizing, and we try to be inclusive. And so we've got everything from extra small to double XL. Dave, I'm not sure which size you had on your hand there.
I have the large. You have the large.
Okay. So we've got two sizes up from that. And because the gloves have more stretch and more lycra in woven into the materials, we found that there's not necessarily a need to differentiate between men's and women's gloves. And so the size ranges that we have between extra small and double XL will, accommodate, more than 99% of the golfers out there. We're not, the extra small I've got a 12-year-old who now rocks the extra small. We're not really into the super little kids market. It's something we'd love to look at down the road. But inventory constraints, prevent us from bringing in too many additional sizes. We can accommodate just about every golfer out there.
Well, I said I got the XL, and it fits because I find with some different gloves, like it's an XL or a 2XL, and I go back and forth with them. I thought the XL fit perfectly with this because of that stretch. Like I feel sometimes I'm in between the two. So
yeah,
my 3-year-old just
I'm the
ran
other
in
way.
here.
I'm between the large and the extra large, and Greg went XL and I went large just to try out the gloves. And I think they, knowing Greg's hand size, the XL may have been a little too large for me.
Yeah, that's we do get a lot of questions. Matt and I are the two folks. If you reach out to us, anybody who's listening, or you guys, like you get one of the two of us. But we get a lot of questions about cadet sizing, and I think one of the biggest questions we get about sizing is cadet. And someone's like, "Oh, I'm an ML cadet," and we would say like, go with the medium. Go with the medium. If you're the smaller, if you're like in the middle, go with the smaller. We feel like it's gonna work out better for you. I've noticed answering a lot of those questions that usually works out for the consumer if they've asked that question.
Hey, I'm gonna throw this one up here. This was a question that came online here. So do you make them for right-handed and left-handed golfers?
We do indeed.
We do.
And we just took a big delivery, so we're back in stock on all of our hard to find sizes and colors. So it's a good time to hit us up.
I tell you what, in the first year we did our market research. 5% of the market, of the golf market, is supposedly left-handed golfers that need the right glove. But I'll tell you what, people, Dave, go back to your question. People started buying a lot of the two hands because they like to rock the two hands when they play. And
two gloves.
Yeah. So we end up selling a lot that way, and then on top of that, we went through our right-handed gloves for left-handed players a lot quicker than we thought we would in the first year. So we upped that percentage as we started to go into more buys. So but we make them, and we are in stock for sure.
So speaking of in stock, if someone's looking to order from you, where can they find you right now?
ClinchGolf.com.
How do they find you?
Yeah, you can a bunch of different ways. ClinchGolf.com is the easiest. It has all the imagery of the gloves, testimonials. We have reviews on the glove page. I don't know what number we're up to, Matt, on that, but we've got a lot of people who've left some great reviews. And then you can go through Instagram, you can go through Facebook. There's a bunch of different places and portals you can get into buy our gloves. And there's other things. We have hats, some sweats, tees, fun, koozies that you can get with our friends at Mir, and a bunch of fun little things that you can get with to rock your Clinch gear.
That's awesome.
I was going to ask you next. I was going to ask you about the other products, because I was going to ask you about your hat and if there were other products. So thank you for just skipping me on that one. Perfect.
We try to skip Steve as much as possible on this show. Well, like that black hat.
Yeah. I think this is a good time to talk about our beer. So
that's what I was about to ask you.
We're really excited. We have a collaboration coming up with a local brewery here in Portland called Stormbreaker. They're golfers. And they loved our gloves, so they reached out to us, and we are launching a collaboration beer around the Masters and a few short days here, and it's going to be called Crush Groove, a golf lager, and it's an easy drinking lager that's going to be sold here in our neighborhood in Portland, Oregon, and surrounding towns for now, but hopefully making its way out to you guys here soon.
I hope so.
Hey, I'm going to throw this out there. I mean, I feel like we should do that for the tavern one night and drink some of this lager. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, we might be breaking some laws, sending it across state lines, but we'll get some.
Here's the thing.
Details.
It's a risk.
I'm a winemaker. I'm a winemaker. I have a license for those things.
There you go. Perfect.
We have an in with some distributors, so
yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, we're excited. We're excited about that. It's gonna be really fun. They're gonna sell it to all the local courses. And
that's awesome.
and all the indoors as well, X Golfs and a couple of the other smaller one-off simulator places as well. So we are going to have some fun this summer and hopefully reach a new audience and an expanded audience here in the Pacific Northwest.
Well, definitely send us a photo of the can, and we'll put it out there on our Instagram too, and try to share it for you. So
we will be putting some stuff on social media in the next week or two. I think our launch event at their spot is on the 13th, the Saturday of the Masters. So that's when you'll start to see a couple more things, some videos, some really fun photos from the day they canned the beer that we'll be putting out there on the social.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Matt and Jason, for joining us tonight. And we got to say, awesome glove, awesome product. Keep it going. I'm going to need to go get some more of these.
We got you covered. We got you covered.
I'm going to get a whole umbrella full. That's what I need.
I'm going to tease something really quick. I'm going to put you on the spot really quick. We've got we're working on collecting products for a really good giveaway that may launch next Sunday, having to do with a certain golf event. Any idea if you want to put a glove in on that? Maybe a green one?
Absolutely. We will for sure. And maybe one of these fun koozies as well. Get you guys from the tavern.
Awesome. Sure. Awesome. We love that. So I'll shoot you guys an email about that. So
awesome.
Awesome, guys. Thank you. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us on and allowing us to talk about the gloves. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Yep. Cheers.
So, I mean,
that was
those
fun.
Gloves.
That was a lot of fun.
We bring a lot of products on here and stuff, and we talk about a lot of stuff, and we only bring stuff on that we're passionate about. And I will tell you, one of the best gloves I've ever used, hands down.
Hey, speaking of something we're passionate about, before we get to Smack of the Week, there was a question that came up that I didn't want to interject. Hey, Ethan, we wish is the answer to this question. We were fortunate enough to go last year. All three of us were there on Wednesday last year, along with Lee from Wedge FX. And we wish we were going back to Augusta this year, but we will
of the four of us, one of us made it back this year, and it's not the three of us.
It's not the three of us. Damn Lee. But Duff's watching, by the way, so we can say damn Lee. But Duff's going with him, so damn Duff too.
But Duff earned it this year with his hole-in-one. So
he did. Like, Duff got an ace. He deserves that. But Ethan, if you're going, have a great time. Have a pimento cheese and a crow's nest for us, and definitely appreciate it.
Gotta have that crow's nest.
Gotta have that crow's nest. So awesome. No, that was good. So hey, let's go and
ready for Smack?
We're ready for Smack of the Week.
Duff, do you approve of our new intro? I need to know.
Duff gave us this, and I have a funny feeling it was. No, I don't think that had to do with our intro. I'm waiting for that comment. I think that was us calling out his hole-in-one that he had.
All right. Yeah. Well, hopefully he likes the new intro.
I'm going to go with this Smack of the Week. We've got. Here's his comment on that.
It'll grow on you, Duff.
Brad wants to know where the dancing bears are.
There you go, Brad.
All right, so I'm going to pull a Dave and shameless plug. This weekend, I am playing in the McMillan Mortgage Masters on the WAGC Tour. And this is what I'm hoping I don't do this weekend at the McMillan Mortgage Masters.
It's a live view into Steve's tournament.
I like how that is also coming from a ring camera in the kitchen.
In the kitchen, right. Yes. So,
yes.
Yes, Brad, I know that deserves a drink. Duff did say, now we're talking with the Dancing Bears, and Bradley showed his manners. Heidi, Brad's at least showing his manners tonight. He said thank you. So
I will say I got to give the wife credit there that she tried to catch him.
Tried,
but she also knew like that was a losing battle.
All three of our wives just would have let us drop.
Attempts were made, yes, and that is correct too. All three of our wives.
My wife would have filmed it.
Right. Yeah. So would have mine.
Would have been the smack of the week coming up. All right, let's go into last call. So another fun event.
Yeah,
I will say it. It was a good event this week.
Steve was this close from his first going to a playoff.
Yes, he was this close from getting that win.
Getting my first win out here.
When you go with Mr. Reliable, you should get a top 5 finish. So I'm just saying.
That is true.
So
now here's the thing. This is an important pick coming up this week.
It's a very important pick coming up this week.
Yes. This will determine it's to pick Scotty for the Masters.
That is true, but
that is true.
But it was a good event. Finau showed up, Scotty showed up. Like there was
I tell you, Finau's third round. If we just throw that out, he wins the tournament.
Hands down.
Can we also talk about the little spat he had with his playing partner? Did you see this?
I missed this.
I missed that one.
There were ShotLink had them like 1 inch apart, and there was a full stare down as to who was going to putt first, and there were words that were said. And I saw the interaction, and it was definitely Tony being like, "You haven't won on this tour, you're putting first," kind of move. And I was like, oh boy, this is going to get testy. And there were some cold shoulders given on the PGA Tour this past week with that.
I mean, that's one of those unwritten things. Like, you don't know.
He's also the defending champion at that tournament.
That's also true. Like, that's another thing. Like, you're the defending champ there too. So, I mean, if I'm going to give you that any tournament, Tony, I'm going to give it to you there.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's
go.
It was, but there was a good showing this week. I mean, Thagala, Clark, all making good runs here. So, I mean, I barely made the cut.
Yes. So we'll have to save that video for next week.
Yeah, I can't use missing the cut
on how to miss the cut featuring the professor.
God, yeah, that's it's been a struggle. The struggle is real, folks. So, all right, well, let's get into next week, and you know what time it is, Dave.
I do.
Hey, Dave, I have to tell you, we were at the air show on Saturday, and during one of the segments of the air show when different things were going on, they played music over what was going on, and they played the Spy Hunter music, and I got excited. It made me think of Odds with Dave. So
Steve's thinking about you at the air show, Dave.
Well,
take that as you will.
Him think about me at the air show than other places, so hey,
that's also true.
Yeah. So staying in Texas this week, going over and playing the Texas Open, Valero. Got some people that missed last week that are back in it this week. Your odds-on favorite this week is going to be Rory, coming in at 9-1. Ludwig at 12-1. Jordan Spieth and Hideki at 20. Max Homa at 22. And then rounding out the top couple, there's going to be Fitzpatrick, Corey Connors, and Colin Morikawa at 25-1.
Where's Ricky?
Why? Because you know Dave's picking him?
Well, it's either him or Rory. We know Dave's picking one of the two of them this week.
That's true.
No, not necessarily. Ricky Fowler, 110-1.
Wow.
So after last week, Steve with the big jump was Scotty picking up 15 points for him, and Greg and I each getting 1. That brings the season's total to Greg to 37, Steve to 62, and I'm sitting at a pretty 79.
All right.
So I got to start making a comeback here.
Yeah, Greg, you were
need
low
to
man
go-
on the totem pole.
You need to go LL Cool J. Don't call it a comeback.
I know, I do.
Yeah.
I'm going to go this week.
He already has that video queued up for the end of the year.
Here's the thing. I just like in fantasy football, I made a comeback and won our championship. So just hold your horses.
Listen,
right now.
I'm just waiting for the comments to start popping up from a certain individual that says that you scam people and made illegal trades. Where is it, Brad? I know it's coming on that fantasy football.
Hey, I won. I'm just saying. I didn't make illegal trades. They're all legal. But this week, I'm actually going to go. I'm going out on a limb this week. It's someone that I've actually played golf with before here in Indiana.
I know who this. Who this is now. That's a good pick. I like that pick.
He's been playing well. He is just a fun guy. We'll talk about that soon, Bradley. But I'm going Eric Barnes this week. And Eric, if you missed the cut, I am sorry. It is 100% my fault because of my picks. But you could also be my comeback player here, and this is where I turn it around because you've been playing well. So keep it going, Eric Barnes. Lock it in.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the odds there.
Doesn't matter.
I'll have to get to it.
I made it difficult for you, Dave. With that, Dave, you have the next pick.
I do. I'm going to take Jordan this week.
Ooh, he went hometown cooking.
Okay.
He went home cooking.
I like the pick. I like the pick as a good warm up.
It's a good warm up, and we'll see where Steve goes here. Because my other two picks, I wasn't going to go for it because they burned me all year long.
This is the best comment ever. Oh my God. Brad, thank you for this. And Mike commented, by the way, your championship is tarnished. Shenanigans were involved. I didn't think we'd use the word shenanigans on the podcast. I didn't think we'd use the word shenanigans on the podcast.
Hey, Farva, what's that restaurant you go to with all the crap on the wall? Are you guys talking about shenanigans? Pistol with the next guy that says shenanigans. All right, Steve. This is an important pick for you. You realize that, right?
It is, and I'm gonna, to quote the old Mike and Mike morning show, I'm gonna lead pipe lock this one.
Oh, I missed that show.
Yeah, I do too. I'm gonna lead pipe lock this with Ludwig Aberg.
You're sod coming.
It's. I like that. I like that pick. I like our picks this week. I think it's a good.
There was Eric Barnes. 250-1.
Lock it in.
I will say that
he's getting 18-1 to finish in the top 10.
I'll take it.
I was going to take. I will tell you, my other pick might have been Akshay. I thought about it. I looked at Akshay too. He's been playing some really good golf, and I kind of felt like he's kind of due, and this could be an event that he could really break through in. But no, I'm gonna go with the ATM machine known as Ludwig.
Well, to close things off on the show here, I will talk about our our NCAA bracket. We have a Final Four actually in this. There are only 4 people left that can actually win this thing. We have a Final Four. That's Red Flash, Bradley's one-legged picks. I'm just going to leave that where it is. Arizona golfer Mike and J Bros. Those are the 4. Red Flash has a 50% chance. Bradley, you got a 43% chance. Mike's got a 4% chance, and J Bro, you got a 2.9% chance. So
he must have NC State winning the whole thing, huh?
No, he has. It's funny enough. J Bro needs UConn to win it all against NC State.
Okay.
Arizona Mike needs NC State to beat UConn in the final. Bradley needs UConn to beat Purdue in the final. And Red Flash, what I think is Bob, needs just Purdue to win the whole thing. So, yes, there is a chance. And
Bradley.
it will, after the Final Four, it'll be down to 2 because there's only 2 combinations here that can happen.
Yes.
In here for whoever's going to win this thing. So it's going to get interesting here with the Final Four. So good luck to our Final Four competitors that are still in the running for our American Fit.
Yes.
There we go.
So, no, it'll be good. Also, I know I talked about it when Clinch was on. Stay tuned this coming Sunday during the Drive, Chip, and Putt. Maybe while I'm playing in the McMillan Mortgage Masters tournament on the WAGC tour, we will be posting shameless plug. Yes, we will be posting the Masters giveaway.
Some good stuff.
And
good stuff.
Some good stuff. Yeah. So pay attention to that, and I hope everyone has an awesome day.
And you know what's next week?
It's Masters Week.
It's Masters Week.
Masters Week.
Yeah.
We
With
should
that,
have all
everybody.
ordered the Masters kit at home and just sat here and ate.
I thought
Masters
about it.
Week.
Like, we really should.
I looked at it. I'll be honest. I looked at it. I actually showed it to my wife, and she was like, "Oh, that's actually kind of fun." I will probably. You know what? I might make my pimento cheese for next Tuesday night and just eat while we're on the show.
We're already ready.
I'll drink out of my my crow's nest cup in the back.
It's
All right,
April,
everybody.
so I just broke that cup out.
Hey,
So
well, cheers. Thank you, everybody,
Cheers.
for watching. We'll see you next week.
I'm really fortunate, man. I mean, having the opportunity to build something that's
it has gone viral on our TikTok. That somebody was commenting about playing Whistling Straits